Masachet Menahot Daf Amud Aleph, 10 lines down. Continuing the conversations about like half Menahot combining or not. The Gemara says, he asked his son, the sons of Rabbi Chia, Rabbi Kana asked the sons of Rabbi Chia, Ma'u lekmot mizeh mizeh. What's halacha? Can I do kmitah on one half Yisrael for the sake of another half? Tziruf d'oraita d'Rabbanan is the combination halacha d'oraita or d'Rabbanan, meaning it's from the Torah. Then you could combine for anything, even to work for a second half of a different one. Telling Rabbanan, then it wouldn't work. The Gemara says, I'm going to tell them, Zulo Shimano, we don't know this one. Kiyotze B'Shimano, we heard something similar. The time Mishnah says, Shem Menahot should look mitzum, but I was bazu. Two Menahot did not do kmitzah, that became mixed with each other. If you can do one kmitzah separately, they are kasher. Im lav, you can't do it separately, bislot, bislot. Sounds like that, however, if it's eligible, they are kasher. Am I want to be kasher? Seemingly they're separate. The second half, which is mixed, now touch the part that's eligible. Seemingly, that one kmitzah of one part can work for the second half. Where it says, Amarava, it's not a good proof. It's different. Maybe it's on a case where there's separately, like distinctly connected, meaning they're separated at, like a comb, that it's connected in one end, but separated at the other end. So technically, by the part of the separation, there's enough flour for one mincha, and the other half where it's connected, where it's the two minachot are connected, they're not enough. That's where the question is. Okay, my vela, what's the halacha? About the session by bringing proof. Tanabat says, "Veherim mimenu." Pasuk says when you separate the comets from the flour, mina hubara means it has to be attached. Shlevi isram b'shnei klim ve'ikmotz. That means you cannot bring the isram in two different vessels and do kmitza. Have a kliya had miyad b'shnei klim kamitza. Now, technically, one vessel with two, which is similar to the case of two different vessels, maybe you can do kmitza. Meaning, if you have one isram in a single vessel but divided into separate parts, then like it would be good. Mar says no, not a proof. Let's say you have three-quarters of a kav inside the vessel that holds the kav, meaning it's heaped over the top. So the afakav the arif milah, technically since it's connected on top, given the mafsik since technically the bottom is separated. It should not be eligible for kmitza. That's the case of two vessels. The case of one vessel comparable to two vessels. Given the arif attached, it's definitely like the tubs for the chickens to eat from. They have these long tubs that they all eat from, the troughs, that troughs, whatever you call it. And there's a lip separating the two parts, like the food and the drink, the water. So avocado, secondly, says even though there's a barrier separating the two halves, Hanegir is a touching. So according to the way explanation, maybe the right to allow a case where the kmitzot are completely connected. But it's a question when there is completely separated, we don't know. Okay, maybe that's a question. Tziruf klivi hiburan. What if one half, let's say part B of the Yisrael, becomes connected tameh through combining of a vessel and is connected to a third half. So A and B are two halves of one minha. That B is connected to C through water. A stream of water is connecting B to C. The C becomes tameh. When do we say that the Mishnah says the vessel combines for Kodesh? How many only inward, not outward, and therefore A and B will be tamed but not C. Well, then maybe Kevin the Haber when it's attached, it's attached. Gemara says into the Gemara, if you want to tell me Kevin the Haber is considered attached, Hebur Mayim specifically, what if it's B becomes tamed through water and from C, and B is connected to the way. He's not when you say clean stuff that we know that vessel combines. Maybe only from inward, but not outward. Maybe no difference. Teku. We don't have an answer. If the Isra of Mincha is divided into two halves and one of them became Tameh, then the owner put it into the mixing bowl with the other half, but they're not touching. The guy who's not Tahor yet touches the Tameh one. Miamrinan Sava lo Tumao. Do we say that technically it's already came to man, therefore it can become more tameh or not? It says Miamrinan Sava lo Tumao. Do you ever hold that? That's what Mishnah says. Sadin tameh. It's a sheet. A sheet is tameh with midras. Amud bet. Midras is if a zav were to lay on it. So the tumah of midras in general is usually tameh because of something that is a zav or a zavar or nida people who have this bodily issues, and if they rest or put their weight on something, it becomes tameh and becomes avatuma, like the main tuma, like the source itself. The owner made it into a curtain, however. Tahor min madras is tameh from madras because it's no longer a sign people lean on. Avatameh magam madras, but tameh because it touched on madras. Amar Yosef says, "Be'ez madras nagava, which madras did he touch? Ella she'im nagab bo hazab tameh magazav." If you want to say it's touched, it was surprise of. Now ki nagab bo hazab mihaim b'tameh. Now technically, it's not touched it became tameh. Well, if you even after he lay on it. Why? Why would you say that? Let's say that well, you tried to say before that, oh, that it already became tameh, you can't add tuma. Maybe we say that there's no such thing as that. Where it says, he says no about it. Who says that this touching happened after he laid on it? Maybe it happened before. And that is a classic case of a more severe tuma of midras uh, being added on top of the light tuma of touching. And over here, where the half mincha became tameh and touched by tuliyam, where both are technically lighter tumaot. Look, maybe they won't get connected or added. Rabbi would agree in a case where, in the case of folded sheets lying on top of one another, שעליון תמי מדרס top is the midras, ותחתון תמי מדרס מגן ומגן מדרס. Lower ones tame from midras, and touching a midras. Come midras because the weight of the person was on it, and it's touching the previous other one. Why they both have tuma? They must have let tuma. Why would you say that it's separate and you can't add? Where it says hatam b'batachat. Over there, that happened at the same time. Over here, the minha was tameh once, and then the guy touched tameh afterward. That is separate. So again, no proof that it's interesting that you can't have added tumah. Okay, Amar Abba says. Isaron shehalaku, one someone would divide an isaron, which is a mincha, into half. Va'avaya had one and he lost one of them. Ve'efrisha har and he designated a new one. Then inside he found the first one. We had this case a lot in Zvachim with animals. If all three halves in the mixing bowl. Nitma avud, if the lost one become tameh, avud verishon mistarfin, and then the lost one and the first one can combine to be a new mincha. Sorry, and then so they become tameh. Mufrash and mistarif, but the designated one does not become tameh because it remains tahor because it's not considered part of mincha anymore. Nitma mufrash, but the designated one become tameh. Mufrash verishon mistarfin, and the designated one and the first one become tameh because it was a replacement. Avud and mistarif, but the lost one is not combined. Mitmar Rishon, the first one, the original one became, the OG became Tameh. Shnei Musafin, they can combine with either one because it's eligible for both. Marai says no. I feel Mitmar Echad Mehinami, even if any of them became Tameh, Shnei Musafin, they automatically combine. My Tama, why? Kulu Bene Bik, they're all part of the same house, which means that they're all part of the same Mincha. I don't care which one was designated, which one was first, which one came last, they all can combine. Same in regards to the Kmitza. Tamas Min Avur, if the Kohen did Kmitza from the lost one, Shirav v'rishon nechlin, the remaining and the first one can be eaten. Mufrash and the designated one cannot be eaten. Come up in mufrash. If they come out from the designated one, shirav v'rishon nechlin, that remainder and the first one can be eaten. Avur and but the last one can't. Come up in rishon, if they come out from the first one, shneim and nechlin, you can't eat either of them because it didn't have kimitzah. Abai says no. By Mar, if you come out if you didn't kimitzah, any of them shneim and nechlin, they can't be eaten. My time away, kulunami b'nei b'yitar, they're all same house, they all need kimitzah. Has a question. The remainder of that one that you're doing, if you did Kmitza on one of them, that half should at least be able to eat it. Then cut the comments look harif, because there's definitely a part of the comments that was not able to be offered. Another question. The comments of how can you bring it? A third of it is holin. It's not kadosh. A third of the comments is extra. That means that third is extra, and therefore it can't be run back at all. Rashi Marash says no problems. Komets b'da'atan the Kohen te'amilta. The comments is done on the based off of the knowledge of the intention of the Kohen. The Kohen ki commits isaron ka'amekis. Therefore, when it does kmitza, he's having in mind only that isaron, and therefore since he take it from that half, and leaving the two other ones, we're basically leaving it up to him to decide which one is for the mincha, and therefore he only chose to do one. Therefore, the kmitzas kasher, it's kasher from the and the other half is kasher to be eaten.